Hello there, I am Lamin Jai, and this is News Review. Coming up for you on the show today, the state attorney in the trial of Boubacar Keita has enjoined the Bundung High Court there to disallow anything that has to do with the divorce of a witness in the trial. I was at the court earlier today. We'll have a story for you on that. Gambia under 20 team has also returned to the country after their Wafu tournament heroics there. My guest today will be Alhaji Jawara, the Lower Badiou National Assembly member. And we'll talk about the controversial $54 million loan scheme for MPs there and other issues affecting the National Assembly. My apologies there. I think I just have a bad voice today, but you'll have to excuse me for that. Before all of this though, we'll take a look at what the papers are saying today. I have the point. I also have the Standard newspaper. We will start with the Standard, and they are reporting that NAM calls for coalition to remove Barrow. That's their lead story. Their finance minister feels NAM's loan scheme not ideal. Sex workers to get COVID funds. Woman weeps in hospital bed, appeals for help to undergo life-saving surgery. Skybank Gambia rebrands to Bloombank Africa. So on the Standard newspaper stories in detail today, the United Democratic Party National Assembly member for Serekunda West has called on political parties in the country to band together and remove President Barrow from power in 2021, similar to the ouster of President Jammeh in 2016. In a Standard Star FM exclusive yesterday, Mahdi Caesar said, "It is my humble opinion that political parties should come together and remove Barrow. Coalition is the solution to remove an incumbent, and I think any reasonable person should admit that fact." That Mahdi Caesar there, the honorable member for Serekunda West. Finance minister feels NAM's loan scheme not ideal. The Minister of Finance has told lawmakers that the process used to allocate themselves a loan scheme is not ideal. At least 17 NAMs out of the 33 who voted on Friday agreed to a proposal for a loan of over $50 million to build their houses. The proposal tabled by nominated National Assembly member Yakumba Jete sparked controversy and condemnation. It is not ideal for members to have a loan scheme for themselves squeezed into the already drawn 2020 budget. That's according to the finance minister there, Mamburin Jai. Sex workers to get COVID funds. Usman Baji, director of the National AIDS Secretariat, has said that his office is to implement a grant from the Global Fund specifically for, among other groups, addressing the needs of people living with HIV, AIDS, and sex workers. Woman weeps in hospital bed, appeals for help to undergo life-saving surgery. Binta Diouf, a 25-year-old woman from Nomi Kanuma, currently admitted at a Dakar hospital in Senegal, has been crying for support to undergo a life-saving heart surgery. The doctor who is supposed to operate me said he will not start the operation if I don't pay the money. I am dying. Please help me. The young lady mourned in the Mandinka dialect in a sorrowful WhatsApp audio shared with the Standard by her mother there. Okay, according to the Standard 2, police on Tuesday arrested a man over the death of his 55-year-old mother. Mamadou Aliuba allegedly assaulted his mother on Monday, leaving her with severe head injuries. The incident happened in Brikama Newtown. She was taken to the Brikama Health Center where she was pronounced dead. Police spokesman Lamin Jai, that's my trauma there, while confirming the incident, said. Let's see what the point is saying. Police blame electrical surge for fisheries fire outbreak. ECOWAS president hails Gambia's efforts to combat COVID-19. Scorpion under 20 accorded rousing welcome. Tourism minister tips Bara as Gambia's next beauty. Police investigations into the fire outbreaks that gutted the entire Ministry of Fisheries and Water Resources found no foul play in the act, while blaming electrical surge for the incident. ECOWAS president hails Gambia's efforts to combat COVID-19. The president of Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, that is Jean-Claude Kassé Bro, has hailed the Gambia in its effort to combat COVID-19, saying there has been an improvement in sanitary situation. Speaking to the media after a closed-door meeting with President Barrow at State House on Tuesday, the ECOWAS Commission President applauded the efforts undertaken by the government to control the disease. Yes. So also on the point there, Tourism Minister tips Bara as Gambia's next beauty. The Minister of Tourism and Culture has hinted that the next beauty of the smiling coast, the Gambia, is going to be Bara. That is it for the newspapers. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So the trial of Boubacar Keita continued at the High Court in Bundung on Wednesday, where state attorneys there asked a judge to prohibit any discussion on the divorce of a witness in the trial. I was there, and more in this report. The judge in the trial of Boubacar Keita, accused of raping a minor, could be left to decide whether the divorce of a witness could be discussed after state attorneys enjoined the court against it. Alassane Job quickly tackled Boubacar Keita's lawyer Lamin S. Camara after the latter brought the divorce of Keita's ex-wife into the mix at the return of the trial on Wednesday at the High Court in Bundung. Objection: the state attorney quickly dissented when Camara asked the witness if the first thing that happened on November 6, 2019 in the house was her being granted a divorce and then her later reporting the matter of Keita falling on her sister to the police for the very first time. The witness had earlier said she could not remember what really happened in the house she was living in on November 6, 2019. She then later testified it was the day she lodged a complaint at the police for the first time. This was after this piece of event was presented to her by the defense lawyer Lamin Camara. On the issue of her divorce, the state attorney asked the court not to allow that question or anything regarding her divorce or alleged divorce. My lord, that question as to whether she was divorced or not is irrelevant, and the issue of her divorce is not before this honorable court, and it is not something that she ever mentioned in her examination in chief, the state attorney Alassane Job insisted. It is therefore not an issue, and cross-examination should be confined through the witness's testimony in chief. We therefore urge this honorable court, pursuant to Section 3 of the Evidence Act and the above quoted authority from the author, not to allow that question and anything regarding her divorce or alleged divorce, he insisted further. The State Council had initially referred the court to page 221 of Law Evidence book written by the current Chief Justice Hassan B. Jallow, where the legal mind argued that a witness is obliged to be questioned by the opposite party at the conclusion of her evidence in chief to challenge and test the veracity of the witness's assertions, whether of fact or of admissible opinion. He further stated that relevant is still the test of the validity of the question, the State Council had also stated. The defense lawyer Lamin Camara, when asked by the judge to respond to the State Council's argument, said his objection was totally misconceived. My lord, I am convinced that the objection of my learned friend is totally misconceived, Camara said. He is expected to elaborate when the case resumes on Thursday. When the trial resumed on Wednesday, the defense lawyer began questioning the witness by first showing her a statement she wrote when she reported the matter to the police for the first time. Did you write everything you said to the court in that statement? Camara asked the witness. In replying, the witness said, no, it's not everything, because when I went to the police station, they asked me why I went there, and I explained it to them. Are you telling this court that what you told the court in your evidence in chief in connection with this case is not why you went to the police station? Camara said in a follow-up question. The witness responded that the issue of Keita falling on her sister was what took her to the police station, and they asked her, and she explained to them what happened on that day. So why did you not tell them what happened? A curious Camara asked. When I came to the court, I realized it's a platform where you can say all that you want to say. That's why I said what I wanted to say, the witness replied. The witness then said what the police asked her was what she told them at that time. When the defense lawyer asked her again if she didn't believe, the police station availed her the platform to tell them everything she wanted to say in connection with the matter. Because that was how they asked me. If they had asked me the way you asked me, I would have explained everything to them, the witness said. Everything you said in your evidence in chief on the pregnancy of the complainant is what you were told either by her, your mother, or a third party, the defense lawyer probed. The witness in replying said that's how she came to know it, because she was not there when Kaketa was falling on her sister. Questioning the witness further, Kamara told the witness she had said in her testimony her sister had collapsed twice in school, and if that was true at all. Yes, the witness said, and then she said this happened when the complainant was living in the same house as herself and her ex-husband when the lawyer inquired about where she lived at that time. The witness said she did not investigate the cause of her sister's collapse in school when the defense lawyer asked her whether she medically investigated the cause of the collapse as an experienced mother. I did not investigate it because a lot of kids were collapsing in the school at that time, the witness said. And for 21 weeks, in your own words and in your statement, you did not notice that the complainant was pregnant while under your roof allegedly. Is that what you are telling the court? Kamara asked the witness. I did not know, I did not suspect it, and I did not pay attention to it, the witness replied. Wednesday's session also saw the state's lawyer express concern over her witness being constantly reminded of her oath to speak just the truth. My lord, we are a bit concerned here because from the last sitting also, the court reminded the witness again that she was under oath. She is not a child, she is an adult. She has already sworn to tell the truth before this honorable court. She has already answered the question. With all due respect, I don't understand the fact that she's been reminded again because she has already sworn. Alassane Job complained when the judge told the witness she was under oath and should please answer the questions posed to her if she knew them. The judge said it was contingent upon the court to remind the witness of her oath to speak just the truth. Very well, welcome back. The Gambia Under-20 team also returned to the country on Tuesday, where it got a rousing welcome there from Gambians. They were in Senegal, where they were crowned champions of the WAFU tournament. More in this report.
After winning the Young Championship, the Gambia National Under-20 yesterday evening made it back home. Gambians, particularly fans, were out to give the boys a jubilant welcome. The Fatu Network engaged some of the supporters and GFF authorities.
What's your name and how do you feel?
Okay, my name is Wayu Mane. I'm from Ambajiboro. I'm feeling great. As you can see, this is what we always praying for. Gambia, we need to go forward now. Our football need to go forward. This is the second time they are bringing the trophy back to the land, and then we are happy. What we expect now is the national squad to go over Cameroon. Warning to the all Africans that I'm telling you this, and then put this in your mind. One day we will call African football, and we will be the African champion for the 10 times. God bless you.
I'm so glad. I'm so happy. I am up in the sky. I am the GFM head of security. I have been waiting for everyone, but I was dying here. This is great. Honestly, this is great. So we should take care of our young teams because they are our pride. Lifting a cup from Senegal. This is the first time it is happening. So we should celebrate it. Scorpions, young Scorpions. Thank you.
And how do you feel about it?
My name is Usman Drame. I am a staff of the Gambia Football Federation, team manager for Gambia national team. We are very much happy with the victory of the U20 and we hope we celebrate more of it.
I feel very good. This is a good thing for the country. At least our football is going forward. This is what we have all been praying for. and Alhamdulillah, things are happening the way we envisage it.
An honor to meet you. How do you feel about this day, sir?
Say again.
How do you feel about today, this victory?
More than excited, because I can see that Gambia is doing extremely well in the junior category, and it is from this junior category the next will be going to the African Cup of Nations, certainly.
The Scorpions expressed excitement for the victory as they promised Gambians to look forward to more wins.
I'm very happy right now because I'm very happy I see all of my friends and family and fans welcoming us. I'm very happy today, really happy today.
What do we look forward to?
Inshallah, to prepare for the AFCON, the AFCON Championship. We are just looking out to take our time, just relax and resume train soon. Like the Gambia people expect a lot of things from us. Inshallah, we'll get something out of it.
Yeah, I'm Wali Fofana. I went with the team, even though I could not make it to play. I was injured, but I'm so happy, you know.
The boys were later given a formal welcome by the authorities of the Gambia Football Federation.
First, let me welcome all of you to Football House, the players, the technical team.
Mine is to thank everybody, while after congratulating ourselves for this historic victory. The path to the victory is so special that really it touches the hearts and minds of every Gambian. In an opening match against a particular team, you are defeated 5-1, and then recovering in the next matches, and then meeting the same team at the finals and defeating them, really, I think is more than a miracle. But what that shows is the determination and the sense of purpose that were inculcated into the players, and which they consumed. This was inculcated into them by the head coach and the team of technicians, plus the team of administrators, from the head of delegation to the team manager, who are all veteran, sports administrators and coaches in their own rights, and assisted by another doyen of sports administration, Mr. Ibuseka of the National Sports Council. So we are not surprised when we saw the comeback in the match against Sierra Leone and repeated with Guinea, and then, what do we say? Bomb, last card, arrest, isn't it? So I think that was what happened. So I think really the young men have really, you've taken the path, you've listened to your coaches and your officers and managers on the ground. That's why you're able to turn around the results to that, Everybody was pessimistic. We thought after the 5-1 we were finished. But alhamdulillah, after a brief chat with the president, the head of the delegation, the team manager, and then coach, I was assured, and I never lost hope. I was assured that things will change, and we've all seen that. So congratulations to all of us. We have had very good records at the youth level, on the 20 and on the 17, up to the World Cup level. And that has eluded us. I don't want to go into the history, but we know why. Because it's lack of continuity and unity. We've been killing each other, we've been fighting each other, and when we are fighting, others are working. That's why we lost track of that. Yeah. We appreciate the fact that for the past 6 years, there have been continuity and there have been consistency in what we are doing. This is why we are here today. If that has not happened, we would have been 10 steps backward. So let's have our hearts and minds together as a country and as a people so that we can achieve and sustain our achievements.
Mr. Matar, coach of the team, said he is proud of his boys. He, however, called on all stakeholders to recognize the efforts of the boys, adding more support is needed for the boys to be better prepared for the tasks ahead.
You set the next challenge is to go to the U20 AFCON. Now we want to challenge you as well to step up in terms of the support, because we have done what we can with what we have had, but it can still be better. And imagine that if it was better. Maybe we wouldn't need extra time or penalties to beat the guys in the finals. Maybe we'd score more goals. But listen, we're very grateful. We're very appreciative because we know where we come from. But we also have to recognize what these boys have done. It really is miracle. Maybe is one word to describe it, but it's also a very, very beautiful story. And I want to, on behalf of them, say that they deserve every single reward that's going to come their way and more, and let it continue, and we look forward to it, inshallah. And as you have set the task already for us, The boys, before we went to the tournament, we asked them, what do you want from this tournament? They said, Coach, we want to bring the trophy. Yeah, they told me. They said, Coach, don't worry about it.
Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth and Sport was present, and he assured the boys of his ministry's support.
It is indeed a pleasure that I'm representing the Honorable Minister, accompanied by my Deputy Permanent Secretary and the Director of the National Sports Council. And when we got the news of your winning, we were extremely excited. And on that note, I bring you good tidings and greetings from the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports, and by extension from His Excellency Adama Barrow, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, and his team are fully aware. The Cabinet is aware, the government is aware. We will fully support you to any level. In fact, there are arrangements for whatever is due to you for you to have it as soon as possible. The Honorable Minister has been on to me since yesterday night, calling me endlessly. We are indeed grateful to you people and proud of you people. The psychological barrier has finally gone. And I am really happy about that. You all know that since 1961, this has never happened in the Gambia. I was not born before, I was born after 61. And I'm one of those affected and who is in that. And today, as Permanent Secretary sitting in here, you have taken off my head a very, very, very big load. So my point, what I'm now going to implore on you is to keep the momentum going. We will do whatever we can as a government, as a ministry, to ensure that you always go to gain higher heights and continue to win.
Apparently, the Gambia Under-20 have finally made it to next year's African Under-20 in Nouakchott. And this turned a promising phase in Gambian football. Fatou
Home is where the heart is. Home is where you feel safe and secure. Dalaba Housing Estate is the newest estate by TAF Africa Global, located strategically along the newly built Sokoto-Jabang Highway. Dalaba Estates offers roads, street lights, a gated community that offers water reticulation, solar street lights, and a proper drainage system. Over the next 10 years, TAF Africa Global aims to build 10,000 homes in the Gambia for you to own. For you to feel safe and secure in a community with all the necessities to live comfortably. Home is where the heart is. Home is where you feel safe and secure. Dalaba House.
We apologize for that lost in sound there. So, as I said earlier, my guest today is the National Assembly member for Lower Bariwu, Honorable Alhaji Jawara. Alhaji Jawara is the MP that etched his name in history earlier this year when he came up with a bill, a private member's bill, that successfully repealed a piece of legislation that tied elected officials, that's local government officials, to their political parties. Meaning, if you are an elected official, local government, it could be a council or a National Assembly member, if your party sacks you, you automatically loses your seat in that elected office. He was the one who successfully spearheaded that. A lot of MPs backed him and he succeeded. UDP MPs were against it. They thought it targeted them because that was the time when they were fighting with Sirifo Sonko of the Bigama Area Council there. He joins me, but first we will begin with this interview with the loan scheme there, the $54 million loan scheme brought to the National Assembly by MP Yakumba Jade. Honorable, thank you for coming. And we apologize for that.
Yeah, no
so I'll go back to my very first question regarding the $54 million loan scheme.
Yeah.
You are an MP, and if you look at it, what happened was there was so much division in terms of whether this was right or wrong.
Yeah.
At the initial stage, what I understand was that you supported the idea, but at some point you backed out. What is your position?
No, that's what I say.
Yes.
I say in Parliament there are three types of voting. You can vote for a bill, against a bill, or abstain from it. So if you feel that your conscience or the environment or whatsoever, you are not convinced about something, you have the right to abstain from it. And that's what I did.
Why wouldn't you vote no? Because that is more emphatic than to abstain. Abstaining means you are sitting on the fence. You are not so sure.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, yes.
I am not sure. It's not a matter of I'm not sure. Legally, I know that what he did is correct. Nobody can challenge her for that legally. But you need to look at what I have just told you. You know, we need to do things based on our consents and section 112 of the Constitution that define how we should act in the Parliament and outside the Parliament. So when I think of this and analyze the situation, I say to myself, I think I should abstain from this. And that is my legal right. That's what I did.
Did you, what do you make of the criticism, the huge criticism that you and your colleagues have come under since this proposal came? That our honorable MPs are a joke. These people are only there for their selfish interests.
No, I think the right person to answer that is the mover of the motion.
No, but all of you are in this together. Whether you vote yes or no or abstain, all of you are in this together.
Let me tell you this. The best person to answer this question is the mover of the motion. That is Honorable Yakumba.
How about the MP who thinks it is legally okay for this thing to happen?
I know, that's what I'm saying. You know, there are certain things that we say before. Something could be correct, but whether it is right, and something could be right, but whether it is correct. You understand? So here, I'm not going to talk about the legality. You understand? But what I'm saying is for people to have that confidence in Parliament and to restore the integrity of the Parliament, I don't think it is right time for this motion to be. You understand? So that is why I told you that the best person to answer this question is the mover of the motion, because I'm not responsible for that motion. Yes. So if you move a motion, you have to lay your foundation preamble, the reasons why you move this motion. And she is the one who moved this motion, and she lay her preamble that, yes, I am moving this motion based on standing order section 1, this, and that. You understand? So I think she will be in the right position.
One interesting thing that she said has to do with the fact that the MPs, the Constitution gives you the right to decide what your salary would be, what your benefits would be. Is this really the case?
Yeah, that's the truth. She is very right in that. The Constitution gave us that power.
But how do you go about that? Can MPs just sit and then feel like, okay, they want to take loans to build houses and then just come and with a proposal and then that's it? It is passed into law.
Yeah,
is that how you go about it?
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, for me, I calculated certain things. That is, 1, the timing is wrong. And 2, you need to calculate the situation, the economic situation right now. And 3, how would the public will view the integrity of the parliament? All these things, you know, it's not just about I know the law, I am educated or whatsoever. No. There are many ways to carry people and there are many ways to lead people. And to lead people, you need to have this confidence in you, that people must have confidence in you that, yes, you are capable for you to lead them. And this doesn't mean that you just have the knowledge in your brain, no. But there are other things that should be added to that knowledge to support you. You understand? So that is why I say, seize my colleagues, and it is my right and responsibility to guide her integrity at any level. That is why I say it is legal. What she did is legal. But for me, ethically, morally, I see that, no, I can't support this. That is why I abstain from the issue.
And what this has also done, is that the issue of all of you being given a car, you know, all of you were given brand new pickup vehicles. A lot of you were also given, almost the majority of you, some decline of course, but a lot of you were given land for free. You know, they went to a particular community, took their land and then just partitioned it to MPs. That also came back to the fore, the issue of, look, this is how much the government people have done for you. But you are being so greedy and so selfish. Now you are loaning yourself our money. I mean, how do you feel about that? The fact that Gambians did their utmost in making sure that you guys, our MPs are comfortable so they could go about their work by giving them free car, free land, and now you want to take free loan.
Let me tell you one thing, which you need to understand. And we have to be fair in our discussions. And it is high time now for Gambians to go out and speak the truth and be factual in whatever they are doing. It is not the government of the Gambia that gave us the car. The first mistake that this parliament made was to receive the cars from the executive branch.
So you made a mistake there?
We made a mistake. It is not only me, but we made a mistake for the first instance. And I have to recommend and applaud the stand of the PDOIs in this. You know, when we are factual and when we are truthful, it will be easier to solve some of the situations that we see ourselves. You see, it is not right for an executive to give us something we did not come through directly, officially. That was the first mistake all the parties have made by accepting those cars. It is not correct. And secondly, for that of the land, that's a right. It is right that every citizen must be, or every citizen shall have a land. And all lands are state land. It doesn't mean that we go to this community and take the community land. That's totally wrong. The Constitution says all lands are state land, especially the Greater Banjul area. So people need to know their Constitution. People need to know the right and the responsibility. So when we knew this, it will be easier for us to move as a nation. You understand? And people also should not mislead each other. We shouldn't mislead each other. It is right for you to get a land. It is right for me to get a land. So when I get it, you don't get it, that doesn't mean that the state is not fair to you or it is not fair to me.
If you talk to the people of Yundum, what they would say is that when the government came to them to say that, okay, this is a state land, what they told them was the reason why they surrendered their land to the state was that we were going to expand the army barracks, but also to build a school, that it was going to be a public place. That was what all of a sudden, they saw their land being, split.
I will ask you one thing. I will ask you one thing. Is Parliament not a public place?
No, but
no. Let me ask you.
These are private residences.
Let me tell you that is Parliament not a public place?
It is a public place.
It is a public place, and those who are working in that Parliament are doing one of the most toughest oversight function in this land. Is Parliament. You have Parliament, you have Ombudsman, you have IEC. All these are oversight institutions, but the supreme one in this country is Parliament. So let me tell you, if parliamentarians did not have that regard, did not have that respect from the public or whosoever, it will be difficult for us to develop. We have to be very frank. That is why I tell you, the way this vehicle came to us, by then, for me, I myself, I was new in the system. We were learning by then. But that is the first mistake that the Parliament made, and all other parties in the Parliament supported that. Because by then, almost all the parties before were in good book with the executives. So they accept this, and they make us to believe that, yes, this is something right, and which is not right. Parliament has to decide.
The MPs rejected it.
Yes, we all knew that. That's fact. That's why I say we need to applaud them for that. That's the truth. So if we made a mistake in that, I should not come again and made another mistake. So that is why when I rethink of the situation and how the situation is, I say to myself, no, let me abstain myself, but I cannot support this cause.
Yeah, and also, I mean, to be fair to the government people, these are very poor people, people that are struggling, people who cannot even get $1 a day. They gave you a car, well, even the government is saying it is coming from a private donor or whatever. They gave you land for free. You building a house on that land shouldn't be our problem, shouldn't be those poor Gambian, the problem of those poor Gambian. That should, I mean, I think it would have made more sense. Even though MPs, it is legal for MPs to come up with various benefits, while they are MP, but common sense would tell you that it doesn't make sense at all for MPs to try to take money that belongs to that poor people, in the form of a loan, disguised in the form of a loan, to build houses on those lands that same Gambians gave you. And some of the MPs were even pushing this idea of, it is a loan, it is a gift, we are going to pay it. It is not a gift, it is a loan, we are going to pay it back. And it would appear they appeared so desperate in taking this. When you talk to each other at Parliament, do you not, try to advise each other on certain issues, ethical issues?
We do advise each other on ethical issues, but you need to understand that you are voted into Parliament by people who entrusted you. Likewise, me too, and others. So there is a limitation for me to advise you, and there's a limitation for you also to advise me. So that's how Parliament is, because we all feel that, yes, we are here for our people, though all those constitute the same Gambia that we have. But we also need to take care that there is a limit that I should advise Lamin Jai. Lamin Jai is not here for me, and he is not here to follow me. This is how Parliament works. The first thing that parliamentarian will think is my constituency. So the second is Gambia, but the first is my constituency. And let me tell you, as you said, the ethical issue that you are talking about, I think I have already highlighted that. So, but when you talk of the land issue, this Parliament is not the first Parliament that government has gave land to. This has been happening all over, and even the civil servant. Carnifing Estate is a sample. So it is not the first time for Gambia to give land to parliamentarians. But people want to bring out issues on this issue. If you talk to me about the loan issue, I have already said that. For me, ethically and morally, I don't feel it is good. That is why I abstain myself. But when it comes to the legal matter, she is right on that. Honestly, we have to be fair. She is right on that.
And again, on this issue, for the very first time, because the MP, the National Assembly has made a name for, it's notorious when it comes to MPs who have similar interest speaking with one voice. We have seen that everywhere. Especially if there are issues that have political colorations, when it comes to the National Assembly, the draft constitution, for example, all the MPs that don't like it will speak with one voice. But for the first time, you have MPs who, for example, are loyal to President Barrow, or MPs that are loyal to UDP. For the very first time, I see MPs split. MPs that share the same cause, split on an issue for the first time. What do you make of that? You have some, for example, some independent MPs, your fellow support it, while you do not support. How do you explain that?
No, I don't remember any of our colleagues independent supported
so you all speak, yes, you all spoke with one voice there.
I think it's only Ablai Sise.
Exactly.
If I'm right.
Exactly.
It is only Ablai Sise. Yes. But it is his legal right to support whatever he wants to. Yes. So it is not a force on us to tell him this is what you're gonna do. Yes. So this.
Do you feel betrayed at all?
No, we don't feel betrayed. That's democracy. Let me tell you, it is because of what we said at the initial stage with our party, our forced willful association, that led to our expel. Because we want to speak our mind. We don't force each other, this is what you're going to say, or this is what you're going to say. No. Because if you feed a human being that, go and say this. Lamija, if I go and say this, when it is finished in me, I will not go further. So that's the problem. I mean, we have seen that weakness in some MPs. When they have already said that they will not go further, they will stop there.
But are you saying this was why you couldn't stay in UDP? This was what led to your expulsion?
Yeah, of course. It's among the issues that I say to myself, look, I cannot be spoon-fed by somebody to go and say this always. I think I have done that interview with you, and I have that here. The day you tell me.
The day I ambushed you. I remember that. So, yes. But when it comes to, in retrospect, when you look at Honorable Jawara Lower Badibu, you came to the National Assembly by the grace of UDP. You ran on the UDP ticket, and won to the National Assembly. Along the way, you fell out with the party. The party accused you of pushing President Barrow's agenda instead of the party's agenda. What do you have to say about that? Because this is the first time I am engaging you on that.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is a very wonderful engagement. You know, at the initial stage in 2007, when we were elected, we came here with our first party caucus. What our party leader told us is that what comes from UDP belongs to UDP, and President Barrow is UDP. And by hook or hack, you people have to support President Barrow at all cost.
This is what Usainu Dabo said.
This is what Usainu Dabo told us. You have to support President Barrow at all cost. If anybody don't support President Barrow, know that you don't support UDP government. Because if people say this is UDP government, let's take it. So this is the thinking I am going with. I say, okay, as far as this is what he said, let's support this man and we move the nation ahead. And I could remember in 2018 budget, he brought a newspaper and said, look at what these people has wrote here, Barrow UDP-led government. So Nico Mumendi Kakawaleti.
Dabo said that?
Yes, Dabo said that you people have to support President Barrow because they said UDP-led government. So I could remember vividly, he pointed on me and Sekou Bajaju to say, I want this budget to pass. He told us that at Manjai Bureau, I want this budget to pass. Honorable Abadibu and Busumbala, I want this budget to pass. We laughed. Because I understand, from my own point of view, he do listen to our deliberation at the House. And he knew the direction that we do normally go with. So when that happens, I said to myself, okay, after the event, I tell Sekou that we have a responsibility. What can we do? Sekou told me, let's go and support it. And that's what we did. And that's what we are doing. So if you come back, you want to give me another issue to go and say, I said to myself, look, I'm a human being. That is why I told you that as a human being, as a leader, you must have principles. And I tell you our last interview that there are 3 things that carry leadership. That is integrity, capacity, and strength. The fourth to that is principle. You must be principled and you must have direction to go. If you are not principled in life, you cannot be nothing.
So clearly you had a problem with the flip-flopping, if you like, from UDP.
Yes.
Here is a leader who advised you to stand by the president. And his government by hook and by crook, in your own words.
Yes.
At some point, the relationship began to deteriorate to the point Dabo had to be sacked together with Dabo and Sane. You were MP, and this was what you were told, advised by the leader of the party.
Exactly.
But now cracks began to develop between the two men, the two powerful men. When that happened, you had to make a choice, because you are saying that this is what Dabo told you, and now this happened. Why did you choose to, what you call principle, why did you choose to go that way, that direction of, I am going to stand by President Adama Barrow by hook or by crook?
Because that's what Dabo told me. I am still following.
I
am still following Dabo's own words.
But here is he now, falling out with that man.
I know. The first advice that he gave me, I am still following that advice up to today. Follow this man. And he also said in one of his interviews, what comes from UDP belongs to UDP. You are a journalist. You do follow other media houses, especially I think Fatu Network, Omar Wali. Did you follow his interview with Omar Wali?
Yes,
you do.
I did.
So that is it, and all Gambians know that. But he even went to the extent of saying that only a bust eye will see that he will.
I know he said all of that, but here is he now. I mean, in conflict with President Barrow, and he began saying no, clearly spelling out that this man's agenda and our agenda, UDP, is totally different. To the extent that they sever ties, father and son, the relations between them broke down irreparably. They went their separate ways. And he started, or the party started saying that you were not, or you were veering off. You were not in line with the agenda of the party, supporting the cause of the party. Instead, when that got to you, you had to make a decision to go back to the drawing board to say, well, at the initial hour, this is what my party leader told me. Now, Kuyanata, I had to go and see which way to go now. Should I go by what he advised me, or should I, move back, change gear, and then support what my party? That is a big decision that you made there. Because at the end of the day, this is the party that made you honorable.
Yeah. Let me come here. The party that made me is the same party that made Adam Barrow. Right away from coalition.
True.
We have to be very fair and be logic, and we have to speak holistically. Not one, not two, we all listen to the party leader, what he normally informs us in medias, in public rallies and other places. So he's the one who made me to believe that Adam Barrow is somebody who is very loyal. Adam Barrow is somebody who respected him. Adam Barrow is somebody who is very honest. He is the one who said all these qualities about Adam Barrow, until it came to me that, yes, honestly, what this man is saying about Adama, and that's what I also see in Adama. You understand? Because it's not one, it's not two, it's not three. I have a lot of interaction with him. We do share long tables. We do share dinner tables. And I observe him very well. We normally chat from around almost 2, 3, 4 hours. I am observing him whether what this man told me, is that the reality or not. And I learned that he is somebody who is very down to earth, and he is very respectful. He respects everybody, to my understanding. So I said to myself, wow, then what Dabo is telling me, that's the fact. So why is it that he has problem with this man? On what? These two people Lakuya is willing to see that's the fact.
So you are saying that Dabo was behind this campaign of making sure that Barrow, leaves power, and
he wants power. And Barrow also wants to stay in power. That's the fact. To make it short, that's the fact.
So that was what led to the the
Yeah,
war.
of course.
I asked someone when they fell out. I asked someone whether, because here is a man who says, okay, President Barrow says Dabo is my godfather, political father. I asked the man whether father and son could ever go to war. He said yes, that is very much possible. Now you decided to go by hook or by crook. You decided to be President Barrow, support his agenda, and it cost you. What happened is you got fired from the party. But this didn't deter you. You were determined, and this issue of you going to lose your seat or you going to be a political nobody, as some would say in some quarters, you didn't care about all of that at all.
No, that
because
is,
you think that they do not exist, such threats do not exist. The threat of once you leave UDP, the party that made you, that is it for you.
Yeah, you know, you need to have one thing. As a human being, there's one thing, if you don't have that in life, forget about yourself. That's self-confidence. If you don't have confidence in yourself, you cannot do anything. I am following one of the political my mentor, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, when he fell apart with his first party. He went and built his own party. And the statement that he has said, he said those statements with confidence, with determination, that I am going to do this and I'm going to do it. So one should have self-confidence in yourself. When we apart with UDP, some of our members wanted to go back. I told them, go back where? You want to do political suicide. You are a son of this land like any other person. What they can do, you can do it. You understand? What Usaini Dabo is today, I can be. What Adam Barrow is today, I can be. Until and unless you don't trust yourself. They are son of this land like you. Why should you submit yourself to somebody like a godfather? God forbid, I will never do that. I will only succumb to Allah. Apart from that, nobody else.
So you mean among the 8 of you,
somebody, yes, he approached me at the initial stage. The very day that they expelled me, the following day, we call a meeting. And we have a meeting that, look, we have a crusade to complete. Because these people, they want the world to see that, yes, we will not be relevant in the society. So what can we do next? To be small doesn't determine anything. But what makes a human being is self-confidence and determination. We're going to show it to them that, yes, we are capable, we can do it. And that's what we do.
When you went to your constituents, when you got to your people, what did you tell them? Because people that voted for you, put you at the parliament, these are largely UDP supporters. These are the people that, and then your party expels you. When you went to Lower Badibu, your people, what did you tell them?
No, I tell them frankly what led to my expulsion from UDP. I explained that to them. Laminja, I will tell you this. Is it right for you to be a president? And you take me as a minister, state minister, and you take Mr. A or B also as a state minister. And I am your finance minister before. And I assign you to go and table, to Mr. A to go and table a bill, how do they call it? A bill, an estimate bill like the budget or SAB at the house. And you were my former finance minister, and you are still in my government, calling MPs and tell them that throw this thing out. If it is you, what are you going to do? Are you going to leave me there or are you going to expel me? Let's be frank. Politics is about loyalty. So if you are working with me and you are telling my MPs that go and throw this bill out without my knowledge, what are you doing? So we don't, that is why, for me, my problem is, there are certain things that we can say in public, but there are certain things that we cannot say those things in public. There's humanity. We need to respect each other's integrity in that. But when wars come to wars, that is why I say to myself, people don't push me yet, but when they push me to the corner, I will also say certain things
you
that...
will speak.
Yeah, of course, I will speak. Because what they did is wrong, is totally wrong. You cannot be in my government and you are undermining me.
That is what they were doing.
Yes,
in your opinion.
Yes, of course. It's not in my opinion. That's what is happening.
And they needed to be fired.
Of course.
In your opinion.
If you are my state minister, you are working under me, and you are undermining me at the House of Parliament, what should I do to you? Tell me, what should I do to you?
Well, I'll
no, just answer that.
You know, as a journalist, I'm not obliged to answer that because some people would say that I am anti them.
No problem. Let's proceed.
But then, when this happened, you were also lucky. As at the time of your sacking from UDP, there was a piece of legislation that you had taken care of. You had taken, probably if you had not taken care of that, you would not have gone against the party. You would not have rebelled against the party. That is this law, local government law that says, okay, if you are an elected MP, if you have a problem with your party, you get sacked by your party. That is it for you at the National Assembly. You had taken care of that. So that kind of really also contributed in you rebelling against the UDP, right, Honorable?
No, that doesn't contribute anything. I have to be frank to you. You see, my problem in life is principles. What I want to do to you, don't do it to me. That's my problem. If you don't do that to me, we will forever be friends. This section 91(1)(d), you can ask any other member of the House. I think I'm the only MP that against that bill. When the then minority leader, the current minority leader brought that bill. Section 91(1)(d), if I'm right.
Yes.
I'm the only one who opposed that, because as a leader and as a politician, you should see what is coming. You don't only analyze what is happening now, but you need to focus the future and see exactly what is coming. It's a sign of a good leader. I read this from one of the African legend, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He said, as a politician, don't only analyze the situation you are in, but focus the future and know exactly what is coming. You understand? And then I realized that when this bill go through, the only largest party here is UDP. Yes. We are the decision maker at that time, 31 members. Even if Doi and others, they see something which is national interest, we say no. When the speaker put the vote, that thing will not go. Whatever we want, we get it, because we have the number.
Yes.
As the rule of parliament operate. Yeah. So this is what is happening. So when Sambajalo brought this bill, I talked to Alaji Dabo of Birkama. I said, I'm not going to support this bill. He told me, what's the problem? I said, look, we have to be careful. As politicians, we need to see what is coming. Why is this man bringing this bill? Already we have the large number in the House. And if anybody can move from your party to other parties, or you can be independent, you will not be sacked. That's a threat to us. He told me, no, this is good, don't worry about it. I said, okay. Other members also called me to convince me that, look, Alaji, let's support this and that and that. I said, hey, if you want to support it, go and support it. But by then, the only thing I am looking for is that this bill came to destabilize UDP. That was my thinking. And when I'm giving my deliberation, those are the things that I mentioned. I say, we say no to this bill. So the only person that supported me was the member for Sanementere, Baba Gale. Because I am able to convince Baba Gale that, look, man call menela follow falena follow or follow me up. Yes. You understand? Until already we have the majority. Why should we allow this bill to go? So all others say, no, Alaji, why are you a hardliner? Even the current deputy speaker told me this. Yes. He called me and said, Alaji, don't be a hardliner. Let's allow this thing to go. It will promote democracy and all that stuff. I say, okay, well, it's fine. Let's go. Yes. Then we go inside the chambers, they all supported it. I say, no.
You voted?
Yes, I voted against it. And then the same people, when I brought this...
a year or so, because a year or so down the line, you also came up with your own private members bill. But the way and manner and the timing, I had always had a problem with this. I had tried to engage you on this, you declined to speak. Yeah. But to me, I mean, to a lot of people, this was personal. UDP particularly. Because the time you brought this private members bill for the deletion of section 19D G was when UDP was locked in this bitter fight with Sirifo Sonko. They had expelled him from the party. Sirifo said he wasn't going to go, and there was that bitter war. All of a sudden, you appeared with your this bill and said, okay, you know what? We have to make sure that we scrap this law, because this law, this law And really, you came, interestingly enough, what you did is you covered yourself in this issue of national interest. And you know the likes of Halifa Saleh, they love national interest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people, they saw it as personal vendetta.
No, it is not that. Let me tell you one thing about Halifa Saleh before going to the bill. This is somebody that I learned a lot from him. Before, what we used to hear about Halifa from people, those who don't even know him, they don't work with him, they don't do anything with him. They say a lot of things about him. But as I told you, I'm somebody that I have principles. I go with him with a clean mind, clean heart. I respect him as an elderly state person, as an uncle. And look what God did. He is my chairperson for Public Enterprise Committee.
Yes.
And I'm the vice chairperson. So we work closely every day. Every day we work closely.
And he advises you?
He advises me because I am his vice chair of the committee, and he's one of the most toughest committee at the House of Parliament. And he advised me how to go on certain issues. I could remember there was a day he advises me on something. We just started the session and I have just seen that. So he is somebody who coached me very well, how to do certain things, certain procedures, how to go with it. And he told me that if you want to be independent in the House, and if you want to challenge anyone in the House, and if you want to be if you want to be a lion of yourself in the House, there are certain things that you need to do. He told me that you are vocal, you are good, but I will advise you, try to know your standing order very well. Try to know the Constitution very well. And don't stop there. At least every day before you go to bed, try to do certain research about other books regarding legislature. So I try to do this. At times, he will give me something to go and read it and analyze it and come back. So this has paved a way for me to tell me that yes, you should not allow to be limited by other people's imagination or knowledge. Yes. I thank him for that, and I'm forever grateful to him for that. So regarding the bill, you have said, you said the timing and other stuff.
Personal vendetta.
Good.
Was that what drove you?
No. My problem is the House of Parliament deleted Section 91(1)(d) for they themselves, as we are MPs. So we save ourselves. Why can't we save others? And we have seen the smoke coming before fire will come in. We need to settle this out. What can we do to settle this out? It is my responsibility to do that, and it is everyone's responsibility to make sure that if you are in the House of Parliament, not so that the public will not say these people are there for themselves, as you said. It is my responsibility, and it is their responsibility, every one of us in the Parliament, to make sure that this man is safe.
But Honorable, did you see the inconsistency there? When it was your turn, the MPs, you rejected that. At that time, you were in UDP, everything was good, smooth. Now you had fallen out with UDP. And luckily you retained your seat because the law had been deleted.
Yeah.
Now you are coming, someone who opposed the idea of a similar bill, now in fact the man ahead, spearheading a similar law to that. So there is this inconsistency.
There is no
How do you explain that?
There is no inconsistency. The first stand that we took is politics. By then we are all in politics.
So you were political?
No, politics in the sense that they don't expel nobody yet. Yes. And people brought a bill to make sure that MPs, let us be free, let us be independent. You understand? We forget about other people that we should save. We have the power and the right to save. You understand? Those people entrusted and give us two things. That is, how to call it, authority and power. Having the legitimate right to do something and the ability to do something. Yeah. So, if we save ourselves at the time the political atmosphere is fine, we have seen something coming. It is our responsibility to go and save those people. So that the public will not say, look at these MPs. They saved themselves and now they have seen the smoke coming and they are still sitting waiting. So that is why I come up with this private member bill. And I was studying this. As I tell you, every day before I go to bed, I do normally do my research on issues, because you cannot just go to anywhere in public to do certain things and embarrass yourself. So you need to do your research very well and know the subject matter that you're going to talk about, so that you can do what is expected.
And one thing that wasn't lacking is your self-confidence. You are talking about, you are discussed that, the issue of your self-confidence. The day I saw you marching to, hand over your members, private members bill to the clerk of the house with so much bravado that you are going to win.
Yeah,
and all despite all the differences, all the different political party MPs at the parliament, they all supported you. But the one MPs that ganged up against you, UDP MPs, they thought this was targeted at them. The timing and everything, it is them that you were targeting.
So would one say here also that they are also doing inconsistency?
Of course, because that is what it clearly looked to me. That is so much.
So they are also doing inconsistency.
But I think that is serious that you, as our MPs, need to work on. Don't you think so? Yeah. The idea of sometimes you get driven by emotion. You just look at what interests your public or your constituent, your political party, if you like. Just that is what drives a lot of our MPs. And it is high time
people need to understand that. Yeah, people need to understand that. I'm a political science student. Parliament has to be partisan. There must be politics in Parliament.
How about the national interest?
Let me tell you, Parliament has to be partisan in the sense that if the voters view that, look, this particular party, their stand at the Parliament is always about this. But this particular party, their stand at the Parliament is always about this. Now that sends a message to the public, the voters, that next time, which party should I vote for? Or political parties are willful associations. You understand? So it has to be partisan. And doing those partisan jobs, you should not forget at the back of your mind that you should also apply national interest, so that tomorrow you will go back to those voters because you need their vote. But if you are always stick to partisan interest, partisan politics, you will find the voters there one day. Because for me, for example, we do say that 95% of the Gambians are not educated. That's what we say normally. But hadn't been the 95% of this country are all educated, I'm telling you, some parties will not even have a seat in this country at the House of Parliament. Because you will know which party to vote for, and which party can serve your interest. But people don't know this. As one of the, how do they call it, one of the African legends, he normally said this. I listened to one of his CD cassettes, Lumumba. Patrick Lumumba, he is saying election in Africa are just tribal census.
Don't mind him. I have seen him brainwash a lot of people. I'm not a very big fan of him. He too is not very consistent. So, but a lot of people, he has students everywhere, disciples everywhere. And if you talk about PLO Lumumba, they insult you. But, I mean, you won. I mean, when a vote came, you won. And then that was it. That piece of legislation got repealed. Away from that, the draft constitution.
Now, before we go to the draft, as what you have just said, what led to my success in the private member bill is that, if you are working with people, I will send this message to everyone. There are certain things that one need to be very careful. People must respect you. People must see seriousness in you. And people must see self-confidence in you. I did not go to any of these people to tell them that, look, I am bringing a private member bill and I need your support. But I do heard from they themselves saying that, honestly, he's a type that whatever he brought into this house, I will support it. It's not about any other thing, but you need to respect yourself. That's the bottom line. You need to respect yourself, you need to know what you are doing, and you need to respect people. If you do this, you are there. I myself know that that's what led to the success of my bill. That's the bottom line of the issue.
That is what led to your success. I mean, that is your weapon or your secret there. But before I take you to the draft constitution, perhaps let's talk about when the 8 of you declared publicly your allegiance, your support of President Barrow, holding hands, all 8 of you, and you went to a president's meeting in Nyomi, I guess. All of you were holding hands with the president,
yes,
and that photo went viral.
Viral, yeah.
What statement were you trying to put across there?
No, the statement we are trying to put across there is, we brought Barrow and we're going to stand with him until the daybreak.
What did the president tell you?
About what?
About you coming to join him.
No, he's very happy. Every politician will be happy, especially you don't have any other, you don't have a party yet, and you have 8 MPs representing you at the parliament, because that's what they said. They said we shift our allegiance to President Barrow. So everyone will be happy about it, and he's the much fortunate president.
Did you have the opportunity to discuss the difficult moment you had? Because he had his difficult moment with the UDP, and you also had your difficult moment with the UDP to the parliament.
No, we normally have our own meeting, different from him, because we don't have any other meeting with President Barrow. If we are to meet, it is only 8 of us. We will sit and discuss what are we going to do and what is the way forward. This is what we normally do, because we have a crusade to complete, and we must complete that, and we must make sure that this government is safe till 2021.
Okay, before we also go to the, let me ask you about this tag. You have a lot of Gambians who would call some of you brown envelope. And those that go about taking $10,000 from President Barrow and buying fuel, or going to ministers begging them for fuel.
Let me tell you one thing. Before 2016, 2016, when we came to Parliament, 2017, I am among the first 5 members that normally came to Parliament with their own private car.
Yes.
I get my own private car in 2015,
yes.
Mercedes-Benz.
Yes.
So the issue of fuel or whatsoever is not my problem.
Yes.
And you know, politics is about that. Yes. It's about allegation and deny, accusation and debunk. Yes. You understand? We were accused that, yes, we took a brown envelope from President Barrow.
Yes. But you never, are you saying on the record that you never took any $10,000 from
I never took any money from President Barrow. If I took money from President Barrow, I'm going to be the first person to say, yes, I took this from President Barrow. He will not kill me, and no one will kill me.
Of course.
You understand? Of course. So I will go plainly and say it. When we were invited by Keba Kamara at Paradise FM, the very week that incident happens, we were invited by Keba Kamara, and this is what I told him. I told him that, look, Keba, right away from here, in fact, I will go to the State House and collect my 10,000 from President Barrow.
Joking.
So, yeah.
Albeit you are being sarcastic there. But, I mean, the draft constitution.
The so-called draft.
The so-called draft. You call it the so-called draft because President Barrow is not in support of it, and you do not support it.
It is now called the so-called draft.
Let me tell you. This is a very serious piece of development that has happened in this country. Because this government rode to power on the promise that it is going to ensure that this country gets a new constitution. I mean, a team was hired to do a job of cobbling together a national document. They did what they could. Millions of dollars is spent. Over $100 million is spent on this document. But this document arrives at the National Assembly and it gets voted down by some of you simply because there is a piece or a part of the document that doesn't sit well or favor the president.
No, it's not only part of the government. It's not only part of the document. There are many parts that I don't feel comfortable with. And it is among the issues that, one, if you're a civil servant, you will not do any other gainful employment to get a revenue for yourself and your family. Like, for example, today, if you're a civil servant, you will not come to Fado Network, or you will not establish any other gainful employment to feed your family. We need to consider the salary scale of this country. You know very well that that will pump corruption. That's number one. Telling people that you have to stick to only this. How can we do that? You know, the intellectuals in this country, most of them, let me say it in that way, they let us down. if you are given a trust, a public trust to go and do a work, do it without fear or favor, affection or evil.
So are you accusing the CRC?
I'm not accusing them. I'm not accusing them.
Because these are the people that...
Yes, I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not accusing them. I'm telling the fact.
That this is what they did?
Yes, for me personally, that's the way I see it. And I see it also
that they didn't do a good job.
What you have said,
did a bad job.
And what you have said, and I see it also as an intellectual coup d'etat. There is nowhere in the world where you can go and see retroactive law.
How do you go about convincing someone like me that is not the number one reason why you voted against this document?
For me, it's not the number one reason. I have to be fair to you, it's not the number one reason. But go and read section 100 of the Constitution. What it tells you about the retroactive law. The Parliament don't have the power to pass any bill that contains retroactive law.
But if you look at...
And if we do that, we will not compromise the integrity of the Parliament. I hold the 1997 Constitution and swore that I'm going to defend that Constitution. So I will not do anything that will compromise.
But do you realize that the man at the heart of this,
now let me come.
Cherno Suleiman Jallow, is a top draftsman when it comes to
let me tell you
law documents.
Let me tell you my position.
Yes.
Let me tell you my position. During the time I was giving my deliberation at the House of Parliament, people has mentioned people's profile and whatsoever. I don't care about it. What I care about is the result. What you can deliver.
So you are saying he did a bad
job?
No.
That is you need. So if you look at the CRC, tell me 3 or 4 people that are specialists in drafting.
I mean, Justice Jallow is a specialist.
I'm not saying Justice Jallow alone. I'm saying,
yes.
Name me 3 or 4 that are specialists in drafting. Those who are constitutional drafters.
But there is no.
You can have a very big, high profile or whatsoever. You look. You know, constitutional building anywhere in the world lead to compromise. You understand? And I will tell you one secret. What CRC did, and did they consult the Gambian peoples about that?
What's that?
Good.
If
you look at the draft, 2019 draft, there is a section at 92, some 92 G or H, the qualification for presidency. At the later parts, what that contains in accordance with this constitution means if you are convicted, you will not be allowed to, you are not qualified to stand for presidency. You understand? In accordance with, it's a 5-letter word. But if you come, and somebody complain about that, we have seen that. Look, we are not fools. We are Gambians like you and I. You understand? So let me tell you, somebody complain about the tender. Their party will take a common stand on that, and they will throw that constitution, even if it goes to the referendum, they will campaign and say, let people vote it out, because of their party interest. You have to be fair. They are Gambians like us. And if you come to 2020 draft, they delete that from 94G. This one, the draft that they have, that they should submit, they delete this in accordance with this constitution, and also in 94 something, I forget about, but it's 92 this one, 94 this one. Yes. You understand? They delete that one there without consulting the Gambian people. You and I have the right to sue them at court.
Honorable.
You understand? It's not only that I'm coming. You understand? So all these are issues which, honestly, holistically, we should not allow the intellectuals to fool us. You are sent to school by your parents. If you are well landed, other people also are sent to school by their parents. They are well landed. What will matter is experience and age. But gradually, we are also learning our experience. So we cannot be fooled twice.
Honorable, I had the opportunity to interview the man who fronted this work, Justice Cherno Suleiman Jallow. Like I said, I mean, first, there is no law anywhere which says that if a country is going about building a new constitution, all the officials or all the people that are going to be hired have to be specialists in constitution building. We had some experts, some top experts. They even went out to look out for experts outside who are well versed in constitution development. And this is what they did. When I interviewed the chairman, what he told me was he was challenging anybody, including you as MPs, all Gambians, to come out with any evidence that will even suggest that he is, or affiliated to any party or political party here. Because what you are saying is that someone came out, complained about this issue of conviction. I'm sure you're talking about.
Let me tell you.
You are talking about UDP, and then they went and deleted that.
I'm not mentioning any.
You are not mentioning, but we know.
I am very careful of my words.
The people that committed.
Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing about.
And you said he went and
let me tell you one thing about me.
Yes.
I don't fear nobody.
Yes. And that makes it very interesting
and
honest.
Let me tell you, I fear my Lord. And if you are a Muslim, you say you fear Allah, you should not fear any other person.
Yes.
And I know that I'm a Muslim. You understand? I listened to the interview of the party leader of United Democratic Party,
Usainu
Dabo, with the then GRTS journalist, how do they call it? Malik Jones. I listened to that interview very well. And this is what he has stated.
Yes.
The time the CRC is deleting these 5-letter words in accordance with this constitution, the CRC went back to consult Gambian people that we want to delete this from the constitution, draft constitution. Did they do that? No.
What he told me.
No, let me tell you, they didn't. You understand? So if they are talking about constitutional bidding or whatsoever, I told you we cannot be fooled twice. If you are to make law for everybody, fairly and firmly.
But if you look at the interview,
I know that law cannot satisfy all of us. You understand? We cannot have 100% perfect constitution. That's out of it. But at least for me, if I have 65, 70, I am okay with that. Maybe other people.
How much did you have in respect of this, which prompted you to vote it down?
No, that's my individual opinion, and it is my legal right not to disclose that. As far as the draft did not go.
Yes, but when
if the draft is succeeded,
you are speaking to a journalist, you should.
But the journalist also cannot force me to say something.
Some of those things.
I should not disclose
for transparency, for transparency's sake. But honestly, something got to give when it comes to this draft, and to be fair to the CRC, I mean. When I interviewed their Supremo, what he said is that all that contained, all that you see in the document was what the Gambian people, because remember they went on a public nationwide consultation the second time, and whatever is in that book is the Gambian people that told them to put it there. But yet here you are, simply because you are not comfortable or you are not satisfied because the document condemns President Barrow to just one more fresh 5-year term.
No, you are getting it wrong.
Yes.
I give you many
No,
reasons.
I know you have reasons. I know you have reasons.
I gave you many, but why single outing?
Yes, because
the issue of President. Let me tell you, for me, the issue of President Barrow is not important to me here. I have to be very frank to you, because President Barrow is doing his job as a president. I am doing my job as a legislator. So these are separate bodies.
But you push his interest.
Let me tell you, these are separate bodies. And despite that, I am supporting him to succeed. I will not hide that from any Gambians. I will not hide that from any Gambians. I am Barrow 100%, based on principles and based on fact.
But do you realize now that pressure is, because clearly, I mean, in the Gambia, I know it is very difficult for journalists to express their opinion. When they do, people accuse them of all kinds of it. But I believe...
No, but we have few journalists in the Gambia here that are not affiliated to a political party.
Yes.
Because the
Who are
ethics,
those journalists?
let me tell you, the ethics of journalism is compromising in this country.
Yes. Who are those journalists?
No, I will not name one, but that's what the people are saying outside, whether the journalists know it or not.
Yes.
But this is what...
No, you said there are journalists that are not affiliated to any political party.
Yes, but there are others, or bunch of them.
Now you are accusing us. But clearly, whether you accept it or not, the president, the executive, was complicit in the failure of this document. Every now and then, you will read it from the newspapers that, okay, cabinet says they are not, this is discriminating. They are not happy with this. They are not happy with this. They are not happy with this. At the last minute, when the suspicion started to grow, even the foreign diplomats wanted to meet the president to prevail on him. Since some of you who voted against the document support him, to simply, it is just a matter of him sending someone to all of you. That could change the whole game. That could change the table. to say, hey, look, for the sake of national interest, just go in there and make sure that you vote yes to this document. But the president turned them away. The president said he is not going to meet them because clearly the president is complicit. The president doesn't want this document to pass. That is the truth.
Let me tell you one thing. I cannot speak for the president. That's the fact. The president is Adam Barrow.
But are you aware that the president that he very much likes?
Let me tell you, the president is Adam Barrow, heading the executive branch. And I am Alaji Jawara, working at the legislature. So these are two separate bodies.
Why are you making this complicated?
No, I should know my limits.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
As a legislator.
Yes.
I cannot put my shoe in the shoes of the executives. That would be completely wrong. Then we don't have separation of powers. So I should not go into their domain. I think the president or the Minister of Justice will be in the right place to answer these questions for you. But if you ask me anything regarding the legislature, I will be.
What would it have? Because one thing also that you just reminded me of the Justice Minister, yes. he was savaged. People thought that it was deliberate on his part for him to come there and not defend this document. What would it have taken for him to convince you, Honorable Alaji Jawara, to have a change of heart and vote yes? What do you think the Justice Minister should have done in convincing you to say, okay, this is a good document, vote for it?
I will tell you one thing. Lawyers or judges or whatsoever, these legal luminaries, it is hard to determine them, or it is hard to know them. Me, after going through the draft constitution, at least the points that I am not comfortable with, I have a sister who is a lawyer, and I consulted her. But to my understanding, she is trying to convince me to believe that yes, this is a good document. I said, okay. Yes. I take her words and write my note, and I went to another person. That also tell me a different story. Almost 3 to 4 lawyers, but they tell me different stories. I say to myself, look, what am I going to do next? Because I have already done my consultation with these people. So the 3 are saying this so-called draft. When they talk and they tell you certain things, they just want to make the president as a ceremonial president without powers. Somebody told me that at least when they give the president the power, there must be a corresponding power given to the National Assembly for oversight function. But how could we make a constitution like this and the environment that we are seeing ourselves as so-called democracy? So he convinced me a little bit. You and I have to be fair. Today, how the Gambia is, whatever it happens, democracy. So I say, okay, I heard you. I don't take his words. And I went to the other lawyer, having this discussion with him. So I say to myself, look, what is happening here? And lastly, I make my own judgment and say, look, I don't think this is something that I should go for. I went back to my sister and told her that, look, you have to help me here because this is the area that you know better. So help me and tell me the truth. But what she told me, I said, okay, it's okay. I don't need to tell that one here. I say, okay, I know your stand already. Yeah. So I went and I write my points and say, my position is I am not going for this document based on the research that I did. So that's my conclusion. That is why I don't support this document.
That is why. But do you realize that the
and one of the lawyers even told me that there is possibility for gay marriage. I say, gay marriage, how? He read this section for me and tell me that in law, interpretation of law, he said his own words and everything, try to make sense. I said, he said, yes, there's possibility of gay marriage. You people should not pass this constitution. And he said, well, highly respected lawyer in this country. I said, okay, it's fine, thank you. So that's my position, because this is something
that is just one interpretation of it. That doesn't necessarily
But these are
make
4
it
people.
True.
Let me tell you, these are 4 individuals that I go to make sure that they guide me with national interest. That's my motive. That is why I went to them. So if they gave me this idea, and they start to tell me their legal terms and whatsoever, so I said to myself, then why is it that these people draft this kind of constitution for us?
And honestly, it would appear that some of your colleagues, at least those that I saw, were really happy. Some marched out celebrating in celebrant mode. People wasted their time. Resources got wasted. Only for it to get to people's representatives. They voted down, throw it out, and they were celebrating.
Yeah, because that's it.
Do you think that is right?
It is their legal right.
To celebrate,
of course,
a national failure?
It's not a national failure. You call it a national failure. What makes it to be a national failure? Can you highlight that?
I think it is a national failure.
No. That's what you think.
Because
let me tell you, this individual who said, with all these resources that you people are talking about, if they don't put this thing there, they're going to campaign against it. Is that not a national failure? That's a national failure. Of course, if that is the national failure, why should they go and campaign about something that they are not comfortable with? So if I'm not comfortable with it, and I campaign against it at the legislative level, and it fails, that's my victory.
And you should celebrate.
Of course I should celebrate it. Because if that one goes right, maybe where I am, I will not be in that place. And it is the prayer of every man to be at the top. So that's the fact. That's politics.
And also,
at the top. So that's the fact. That's politics.
And also, when it comes to this draft constitution, you are a people's representative, and I'm sure in your constituency, you'll have Christians there. You go to Lower Badibu, there must be Christians. But the one group, during the entire time, that not one single MP talked about in terms of their concerns, is the Christians of the Gambia. As an MP, what do you make of all the concerns, all the complaints that they made throughout the process? Not a single MP, care to even talk about it.
Can you highlight what was the concern of the Christian community?
So you didn't.
No, I'm not saying I didn't know. I just want you to highlight it, because I cannot talk about something in a...
They wanted the word secular inserted in the constitution.
They want that to be in the constitution.
In the constitution, they also, the issue of Sharia, given prominence in the draft constitution was also something, because in terms of inheritance and all of that, that was also something that they raised concern over. But I mean, their concerns, I didn't see any of you, dedicating at least.
Let me tell you one thing.
Portion of your,
let me clear this post for you. For me, as far as Lower Badibu is concerned, maybe it did not come to my knowledge, but I did not know anyone in Lower Badibu who can tell me that I'm a Christian in that community, because almost all the villages, I know them. I don't say it is not there. I won't say that, but I couldn't remember any community or village or town wherein there is a Christian in that place. I couldn't remember. You understand? And they did not face me to highlight this thing to me. I personally went to my constituency. I have a meeting at Kerardo. I have a meeting at Gunjur. I have a meeting at Bani. I have a meeting at Kerawan. So with all these villages that I went to, we discussed about this constitution. After hearing from these 4 lawyers that I'm talking about, so they raised their concerns, and I know their position, and that's the number one reason why they sent me to be their rep at the House of Parliament. So for that of the Christians' concern, the issue of secularism that you are talking about, you talk about the area of the Christian community, but if you come to the Muslim community also, are they in support or they are in for it? They're against it. Because we all know that the Muslim community also against.
They are opposed to it.
They oppose this thing. So anything that comes in regards to religion, as people reps, we need to be very careful about that. Because all these two people are people. Whether you are a Christian or Muslim, as far as you belong to this nation, you are a Gambian, your interest must be served by us. You understand? And we need to be very careful regarding issues regarding religion. You understand? If their concerns are not raised, I am not representing only Lower Badibu. I'm representing the whole Gambia. if they feel that their concerns are not raised at the House of Parliament, we will say we are very sorry, because we are human like any other person. Nobody is perfect. But minority right also is protected in this country. We all knew that. So if the Christian community feels that their rights, their concerns were not raised at the House of Parliament, that's an oversight. That's the way I see it. And I will say we are very sorry.
One thing that is the house can also be very rowdy sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, there is a lot of noise, and you will see MPs, blasting each other. Is that how it really works in Parliament? The issue of MPs coming and then start shouting over each other, and even to the point of trying to fight each other.
No,
is that how it works in a parliament, in a typical parliament setting?
Of course, that's part of parliamentary procedure. If you look at other parliaments, like our neighbor Senegal, they do fight with their cares.
Yes.
You look at Egypt, you look at South Africa, just to name a few. So parliament all over is like that. So, but for us, thank God, we did not experience such. Yes. Until one day when my father, my uncle,
wanted to, what?
He said he is disturbed by side talks.
But referring to Yakub Majeda there. But then I will take you back to the draft constitution and ask you whether you realized the pressure that is coming on the government to bring it back. When it got defeated, what happened? It sparked backlash. The government came on a lot of criticism, and the justice minister all of a sudden announced that they are, initiating a fresh process to ensure that there will be dialogue and there will be consensus around it, and they will bring it back to Parliament. Just yesterday, the ECOWAS Commission president met the president, and he spoke to reporters. I was there, and what he said was that they are in support of this draft constitution and to ensuring that it is realized. The Gambia gets a new constitution. So that is a whole new pressure for this government to make sure, or the executive at least, to make sure that this, because that is all eyes are on us. You have the international community. We've heard what the EU have said. And now the government, I mean, although they are complicit in making sure it fails the first time, now they want to bring it back. But this issue of a dialogue, and the justice minister wants to do this from cabinet when he got cabinet's blessing. He wants to do this by way of getting all these stakeholders involved, all the political parties involved. But given how polarized our climb is, do you think this is realistic at all? The issue of making sure that all the stakeholders are in agreement.
Yeah, for me, I believe it can. Constitutional building anywhere in the world, there must be compromise. Anywhere, there must be compromise. You cannot impose law on people and say they should accept this. And that's what brings the backlash at the House of Parliament. When I saw this thing, is it a joint communique of UK, US, and American embassy or what, European Union. I said to myself, look, as far as we call ourselves as independent state, as sovereign state, no country is an island. We knew that very well. No country is an island. Yes. We are interdependent. But this is our internal affair, our internal politics. And our constitution has clearly spelled out that no country should interfere in our internal matters regarding politics and other stuffs. So why are these people interfering now, urging MPs to pass the bill? What is their interest? I ask myself this question, and I go to the Constitution because it is the right and responsibility of every citizen to make sure that you defend this Constitution. I went back to the Constitution and consult the Constitution, and Section 213, yes, 213 clearly spells out that directive policies of the state policy. No country or institution outside or inside this country should interfere in our internal politics. So why are these people urging MPs to pass the bill? What is their interest? We know that we are not independent. We know that very well, and no country can be an island. But there is a limitation for everything. This is the law that we are trying to make for ourselves, to govern ourselves. We cannot be recolonized twice. I say to myself, look, what is going on? Can these people force us to do something? Is it right for me to go to UK and they are doing their constitutional building and I want to put my mouth there?
But
What would be my answer?
But do you realize that these people were putting their mouth where their money is? Because in the first place,
what did they put there?
In the first place,
What did they
in the
put
first place, our government started begging the international community for money.
Let me tell you one thing. We need to understand one thing, Mr. Njai. The reason why I tell you we are interdependent, we need to know this very well, this word and market. If our country goes to these people to beg them, these people also need something from us. It's just that Africa, our leaderships, we don't respect ourselves. I have to say this. And African leaders must hold the bull by the horn so that Africa also can have that integrity. We can restore it. We can stand on it firmly. You understand? How many EU vessels are in our Gambian rivers fishing? Almost 41 vessels. And they themselves determine if they did any penalties there, they're going to pay 50 euro. Should we determine that or them? I say to no to that bill at the house. Ask any other person, they will tell you. I'm not going to support such, certain things we should not even entertain those. 41 vessels in our rivers. Yes. Do you know how much revenue those people are going to generate from us?
It's massive.
It's massive. We don't have the material to fish in our rivers. Doesn't mean that we should live. If I don't enjoy it today, tomorrow my children or great-grandchildren can enjoy it. So we need to think. We need to be somebody who can make decisions for ourselves. But this is what Africa is lacking. You understand? So they are saying, UK is donating this, EU is donating this. What is Africa doing for EU? What is Africa doing for the West? Let's try to gauge this. Go to Congo. Go to Zaire here. Go to Mozambique. And even Senegal here. Gambia here, our sons. What are they getting from here? So without Africa, they cannot go. It's politics. They are bluffing that, yes, Africa cannot go without us. Let's all hold our things and see what will happen. This is why sometimes there is certain African leader, I don't want to mention his name, but I like his leadership style. We have to be very, very objective and be firm to our decisions. Somebody cannot come from his home or whatsoever and come and try to dictate you what you should do in your country. That's out of it.
If that is happening in our country now, and you have President Adama Barrow as the leader, what would you say to the suggestion that he is incompetent?
It's not about matter of incompetent. It's about matter of institutional building. It's about matter of Africans knowing their right and responsibility. It's about matter of Africans knowing that no country is an island. These people cannot go without us. We cannot go without them. It's give and take. But if we want to hold them as godfathers, if we want to hold them as without them we cannot go anywhere, Africa will still remain like this forever. I can tell you that.
When the draft constitution arrives back in the parliament, should there be a consensus? I don't know what that means. The justice minister will always say, oh, consensus.
No, since
September he has been talking about this consensus. I have no idea what he's up to. I tried to interview him. He said he's busy. But should there be consensus? Sorry, excuse me. Should there be consensus around it? If it gets to parliament and you get all of these things that you are complaining about.
I cannot get, all these things cannot be 100% correct.
Yes.
That's my stand. But at least, if I'm comfortable with 65, 70, I will know that, okay, other people also should have 65 or 70. So there is a compromise in constitutional building, as I told you, so that we can come into town. But if I'm not comfortable with something, and you want to urge me, you want to push me to accept that, then where is democracy that we are all crying for? Where is self-respect? Then meaning you are telling me that you have to do this. I am just there to be there, but I'm not there for my people, or I'm not there for myself as a citizen of the Gambia. People should impose something on me and I have to accept that. And I call myself as an independent sovereign state.
So when you voted against it, your people, this was what they agreed to?
Yeah,
they agreed to your decision?
I went to them and I tell them that, look, this is how the situation is, and I make my research on this, but this is the result I get. Now it's left to you people to decide to tell me, what am I going to say? All the records are here. And any village that I go to, I have the pictures with me here. So that's it.
So in essence, you did your homework?
I did my homework. That's the essence of being a representative.
What do you make of the country's current political configuration? We have seen a lot of movement, politically. It is going to, I feel sorry for the journalists next year, because this country is going to be very busy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is starting as early as in this month, when the president will start a whole 1 month tour.
True, yeah.
You have UDP going to Congress. You have CA unveiling its manifesto. You have all the movements, the political movements that are. But what do you make of the idea that the president, I mean, you are NPP, you should be MPP, or you have not officially joined the party?
I'm not officially NPP, but I'm 1,000 times Barrow.
Yeah, 1,000 times. He has his own political party. I mean, if you are somebody who's serious about supporting, of course, you have to be an MPP man. But what do you make of the idea that you have a lot of political activities going on, and ahead of next year's election, the president is out, of course. I mean, I love he has all these maxims in the world. You can say you own your party, but you don't own the people. these are things that he would say, you know. And if I tell my father this, he says, okay, the guys from URR people are very good at maxims. But what do you make of that? The president trying to make sure that 2021 is his, while you have all these political parties making movements to depose him.
You know, politics is politics. No one can determine politics until you have seen the final result. Because we have seen the test matches. We don't even go into the game yet.
The test matches.
Test matches.
You are talking about the by-election. So those are your test games.
It's a test match.
Yes.
So thank God today that you are asking me this question, because you once told me that President Barrow's political future, a lot of analysts were saying that here is a man, but December is just around the corner, there is mountain praise.
Yes.
You are interested, Mr.
Yes.
So now the whole game has changed.
Yes.
Change in the sense that I told you,
you
that if you want to lead this country, you must do something that people can count that this is what he has done here during his tenure in office.
Yes.
This is very important.
Yes.
That is why even myself, I say to myself, what can I do for the people of Lower Badiba? So I divided my salary every month, half for myself and half for my constituency. So I built a ward there, standard class ward for women and children, so that in future, even if I'm not alive, my children can be proud that, yes, during the time of our father, this is what he has done. So I told you this is very important as a politician.
Yes.
So the interaction that I normally have with the president, I told him that if you want to be re-elected to be the president of this country, you have to do something for the people of this country. It's not by mouth, but by action. And we must make sure that we improve the life standard of the people of this country. Not only about infrastructure, but even their social and economical life. This is my advice to him always. And he promised me that I am going to do these things. He normally called me the Dininkeba. But it's not about that. It's about what people are saying over there. You know, a president is a civilized prisoner. He is at one place. So for us, those who are going and coming, feeding him information, we need to tell him the right thing if we want him to stay there. But some people, you have a president. Anytime you go to him, you tell him sweet words, sweet words, sweet words. He did not know what is happening outside, because he's not like you and me, going having that interaction with the society. So what the society is saying, we should transmit this information to the president, to tell him this is exactly what is going on, Today, we all knew that the political environment in this country is totally changed.
Yes.
We have seen people shifting their allegiance to NPP. Though I'm not NPP yet.
Of course you are. Technically you are. I mean,
but legally I'm not NPP.
Yeah, legally maybe you were just waiting for the unveiling and the big inauguration, and then that is it.
Yeah.
But you were saying something. Okay, yeah. I was asking. Okay, that is your opinion. But now you are saying that the litmus test have been conducted, and what people have seen. What they myself, I wrote an op-ed on this, and this is what I would tell a lot of people that are on the other side. That look, underestimate him at your own peril or risk. The president is growing in terms of popularity, in terms of support. He's taking from almost all the political parties. People flocking to him, coming to him saying they are now NPP. And as someone who would be there throughout next year, in the run-up to the election, what would be your advice as an MP, respected member of parliament, in terms of, because clearly tensions might flare, there could be a lot of things could happen, even the fact that people can be very emotional sometimes when it comes to politics.
No, my advice is not only the president, but what we should have at the back of our mind is, before President Barrow, it was Sadauda. And after Sadauda, it was Jambe. And after Jambe, today is President Barrow. So tomorrow, nobody knows. So we have to guide the peace and stability that we have here jealously. Nobody should compromise that. The peace and security of this country, every citizen should guide that jealously. Because you will not know the price of peace until in the absence of peace. So for me, even if you are following the deliberation at the House of Parliament during the time we are doing this budget session at the committee stage, I advocate for more resources to go to interior. My reasons are that we are in an election year, and nobody knows the post-election. Understand? So we need to calculate all these things. We need to equip our security forces in the events that unseen circumstances came in, then they can step in. So post-election, everywhere in Africa is always tough. So we need to plan for it now. And how are we going to plan for it if our security forces don't have any resources? So that's the reason why we advocate for Interior to get more resources. So it is part of our plan for them to get more resources.
Do you see President Barrow winning?
No, it's not about seeing president. I've said at the...
Well, what do you see when you go to bed? What do you see 2021 as to the person who is going to win? It's a lot of people.
Who?
The election next year. When you go to bed...
No, we don't talk about President Barrow to win 2021. We are talking about certain MPs. Not President Barrow. President Barrow has already won 2021.
A foregone conclusion.
Of course.
He has already won.
He has already won 2021.
Where is your proof and
my
evidence?
Proof. You have already seen the proof.
What is it?
What Gambian people elect him for, he is doing that.
So that's the proof.
He makes sure that the political environment and the citizenry we are enjoying. Because today what you and I are doing here today, even this interview, talking about the government, talking about the presidency, talking about legislation.
Honestly,
no, let me tell you that.
That is one thing that I disagree with. Anyone that says that, I totally kabudo rejectamente. That is something that I really don't, because really that was a collective effort.
As you said,
this freedom
it's a collective effort.
The president,
but President Barrow is the face of that.
The president dare not say that he's going to reverse this freedom that we are enjoying.
But
if the president does that, he would be doing that at his own risk.
Do you
realize that?
Let me tell you one thing. You once told me something.
Yes.
And I will repeat that.
Go on.
All those things,
yes,
peace or whatsoever, is collective.
Yes.
But who is the face of that?
Well, the president, the leader is always the face of whatever good or whatever bad.
That's what I normally tell people. When something bad happens and they blame President Barrow, I say yes, he needs to be blamed.
Why is he support him, criticize?
No, for me, my politics is different from others. Yes. I do my criticism constructively and objectively. when something bad happens and people complain about it, we have to give it to him. He's the leader.
Yes.
But when something good or better happen, we have to give it to him too. Because it is under his leadership that Gambians are enjoying the democracy that we are enjoying today.
But the great majority who support the president have a problem with that, apportioning the bad stuff to him. Whenever you do that, they attack you.
No.
And
That's their own political way of thinking.
Yes.
But for me, when something bad happens and it is attributed to him, yes, he is the president. But when something good happens, as we are saying, the atmosphere that you and I are enjoying today, so it's because of him.
Yes.
Because during Jammeh time,
he promised. Of course, one has to really commend him for that,
exactly.
because he promised that the issue of he could have come and do whatever he liked, even though people are going to fight back, but he could have done that. But he said no, I'm going to accept whatever that people are going to say, freedom of speech, which I mean, freedom of the press, which is really. It's impressive, although there are challenges here and there, pockets of challenges, but his government has done really well in that respect.
So, you know, for one thing I need to commend him for is that there are certain sectors that he don't play with that. That is health is his priority, and security also. Because I don't blame him much, because he is not security oriented like Jammeh. Because Jammeh did all his life in security sector, unlike him. And also in the aspect of journalism, he told me that he respects every journalist in this country. Because I could remember there was something going on before, we were discussing about that, me and him. He told me that if you are a leader, you should accommodate and accept everything. And I will advise all of you to accommodate and accept everything that people are saying. You can hear it and know what to do next, but don't try to fan back to people and say this is what they are saying about you. He always advised us about that. He said this Gambia belongs to all of us. People are saying this and that and that. It's because we are in power. If we are not in power, who is talking about Jammeh now? Nobody. So every blame now will come to President Barrow. So if anybody don't want to hurt that, you don't want to hurt my blame or whatsoever, then you are not supporting me. And that's the fact. So I really like him for that. And he's somebody that if you go to him, tell him anything, he will tell you that you have to give man evidence. He did that in my presence, not one, not two, not three. People will come and tell him things, he will tell you, where is your evidence?
But you know, sometimes I think he sees evidence and he is very slow and not decisive enough to act.
No, it's not about matter of slow.
I can give you an example. I mean, corruption, especially when you talk to President Barrow about the issue of corruption, he would say, you have to give me evidence before I can act. But there are certain things that are not right in this country, but the president simply would not act. For example, the ferry. The ferry clearly was bad. It was not good. Yet they put people into it. And then the ferry went midway into its journey. The ferry could not move. And you know what? People's life is what is at stake.
No, but you are misleading. You are misleading two things. Negligence and corruption are two different things.
But these are all.
No. You have to be clear. Negligence and corruption are two different things.
The president never acted. No, never even spoke about it. And it happened. You know, that is the
president has already assigned somebody to be in responsibility of that position. That is the Minister of Works.
Why didn't he sack the Minister of Works then for putting
people's
150 people's lives at risk?
Let me tell you one thing.
Even after them admitting that the ferry was faulty and they put people into danger to say go and die.
Let me tell you one thing. You know, the concept or the notion, the environment that we were in before and currently could be quite different. Because what we knew and what we are up to is that when you do this, the next minute they fired. People, you know, nobody. You know very well that. You know very well that it will not be nobody's interest to kill people in that river. That's clear to you. And what you have said is true. The Minister of Wars could investigate that matter, or the police. What led to this? Why is this happening? But our institutions, what we are used to, and I sometimes say to myself, okay, anyway, maybe it could be that the environment that we were in before It's the same trend that is going on. People, you know, to change the mindset of a human being is not an easy task. Yes. It is a gradual process. You understand? If it is you today, this thing happens, you're going to sack the works minister.
I will sack all of them. I will sack all of them for putting the lives of my people at risk.
Nobody will compromise
I will sack all of them.
Nobody will compromise.
But that is clearly what they have done. That is what clearly the president has done.
Let me tell you.
Didn't you see it?
No, I know. I'm coming. Let me tell you. What interest would the Minister of Works or the President will have to kill your own people?
But if you are negligent, if you are being negligent or being so reckless or irresponsible, because clearly I investigated, I went there, they admitted that the ferry was in bad shape, the ferry, the engines were not good, but they were just taking the risk. Who does that? If this were in some other countries that have moved way ahead, all the occupants of that ferry would have sued the government for this, for putting their lives at risk. Nobody is talking about it, but it's a serious, you could see the pandemonium, the confusion in the ferry. It was a serious matter.
Can I tell you?
But I'm not even sure the president is even aware of this. I'm not even sure.
Let me tell you, I don't want to disclose something here. But
I think you should.
You know, no, I will not. I will just give you a tip. You know, the issue of the ferry, GPA, is under our committee, Public Enterprise, and Gambia Ferry Service also. It's a subsidiary to GPA. It's under our committee, Public Enterprise Committee, and we will face them. This week, I think, we will face them, and all these things that you have said, we capture all these things, but it is not ethical or it is not in line with our standing orders to disclose certain things here. You understand? But that is our work as people rep, and it is the work of the work minister also. Yes. You understand? When something happens and it is under our purview, we will immediately summon the managing director and the technical team and all those people responsible, all the minister responsible to come and answer questions at the parliament. You understand?
But you did not
summon them. I would not say that because our standing order would not allow me. I don't want to...
Fair enough, Honorable.
Exactly. So, but I know whosoever did this will regret it. That one I can tell you that whosoever did it.
But honestly, I interviewed the managing director and this is on record. He said, admitted that there is a time span for any ferry to run, no maintenance on the ferry before you allow the ferry to ply. Now, but clearly that is not what they have done. Now they are putting people in these ferries to anything can happen. A disaster can happen. Anything can happen. So I think it would be very important, since this thing falls under your FPAC, to make sure you investigate this, because they are saying they are going.
It's not a matter
there is an internal investigation.
It's not a matter of internal investigation or whatsoever. I would love to give you all the details that we are up to.
But you will not be able to.
Exactly, as I tell you, because the parliament should come first before outside media. So if not that, I would have explained everything to you. But we will come back again and we will talk about that
and discuss. Honorable, do you have anything final to say? Finally, because
finally, what I have to say, I will say thank you very much for having me here. And I will say thanks to the staff and the entire management and team of Fatu Network. It is all about nation building, you know, to clear the doubts of the listeners and the public at large, so that whatever is happening in the society, then we can come and then enlighten the society about what is happening. That is the first role of parliamentarians. If people are confused outside, we should clear their doubts on air or whatsoever to tell them exactly what is happening. That is very important. So I'm very pleased and happy to be here, Mr. Njaya.
Honorable, thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it. That is the Honorable National Assembly member for Lower Baribu, Alhaji Jawara. He said that the president has already won the 2021 presidential election. So all the opposition political leaders there, you might have as well, give up.
No, they
can still try.
Let them try. They have seen the test match.
Oh, that was brutal from NPP there. It was something. But that will be that for this interview. Thank you for being there.
Thank you so much.